It is Monday, October 28th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Jet Home Loans. And now, Tony Boselli's personal gold jacket dry cleaner, J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans from the Hyundai Studios, the Miller Electric Center. We're on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. A busy 2 hours ahead after the Packers knock off the Jaguars with a field goal as time expired. 30-27 the final. The Jaguars' defensive issues continue in multiple areas. We'll get to those. Trevor Lawrence's performance, some good, some not so good, but some good when it mattered at the end. Injury list growing, of course. We'll have some updates on some of the injuries from the game yesterday. We'll keep it real with the trade deadline looming. And then Fanatics fan questions. That's all in the second hour coming up. Let's hear from head coach Doug Peterson. Boy, the Jaguars were down 10 at the start of the fourth quarter, rallied back, and without their top three starting receivers on the field, they drove down for a touchdown on their last offensive possession.
Doug, Trevor leads the 87-yard drive to tie the game without the top three receivers going into today. What did he kind of show you there on being able to guide the team down, obviously down his top three receivers?
You know, I think, yeah, he did a nice job. I give a credit to those receivers and those tight ends and the offensive line. Those guys, they made plays for him, right? Now he made some really good throws and all of that, but those guys that were playing at the end of the game when you're down your top three receivers and you know, you're playing in your 12 personnel for the rest of the game, that's tough. But the guys battled their tails off, got us back to tying this football game with a chance to, you know, potentially win it there late. So hats off for those guys.
Head coach Doug Peterson. We welcome in CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco and Pro Football Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Boselli. The band is back together. Pete, what do you think? How are you? Been a while.
I'm outstanding. I mean, look, we're about halfway through the season, and we're going to start talking draft.
No, we're not.
No.
We're not out of the. We're not eliminated.
Mathematically eliminated yet, Pete.
Come on, Pete. You know the rules.
Well, you know why? The bottom of the AFC, you're not going to be mathematically eliminated for a while because the bottom is going to be open for a while. I mean, are the Colts any good? And they're smack dab in the middle of it. You know what I mean? So. Well, it might take us a little while, maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, and we'll be talking draft.
I don't think so.
Well,
no.
Let me
mathematically, no.
You bring up an interesting point that adds to the frustration of the year, Pete. We're 2-6, and it's not like it's a super strong AFC. I mean, even the Chiefs are undefeated, but they got all kinds of warts. Now, they have a great defense, obviously Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick's not putting up great numbers. They're trading for receivers. They traded for an aging DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, they're looking for answers.
Kelsey's not the same
Kelsey,
kind of guy.
I mean, well, you would expect it. Guys get old. That's Father Time is undefeated. And I think, you look at where we sit at 2-6, that's what's so disappointing is like, this is not a strong AFC this year. Now,
no, even in the division, the Texans haven't looked great.
But I mean, and this is the thing, and I thought Doug's answer was interesting to me. The question was about Trevor, and he was like more focused on the rest of the offense and what they did, which is fine. I mean,
bad look.
Well, you can nitpick, but I think the bigger thing to me was, and I think he said it last night, or maybe I heard it on talking with Bucky, or maybe it was today, was that the game comes down to making a handful of plays.
Yes.
And he's right about that. And at the end of the day,
every week in the NFL, Tony, you know
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what Doug's saying. He's saying what you and I have said all along, Pete, is it comes down to a handful of games, a handful of plays, and you have to make the plays that matter when they count. And this team would be 5-3 if I'm thinking correctly, is they've had opportunities where they had the lead in the fourth quarter and the defense couldn't get a stop, or they had the ball in their hand with a chance to win it and they couldn't get it done.
Well, Miami, they should have won.
And I think they had the ball in their hands at the end of the game. They could have.
Tie game, right? Yeah.
But Miami, they should have won. He doesn't fumble, they win that game. They should have won the game anyways.
Cleveland,
what other one you talking about?
Cleveland, they had the ball at the end of the game. I think they had a chance to go win it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but again, you can go back to every game and do that.
But that's my point, Pete. I'm not saying they should. Let me be very clear. They're a 2-6 team because that's what their record is. And I'm not a big shoulda, coulda, woulda. My point is, I agree with what Doug said. If you go make the plays that are there to be made when you have to make them or not make the mistakes, because as well as Trevor played after the first quarter and a half, which the offense was abysmal, getting 0 first downs, and then I thought Trevor played, he did some really great stuff in the second half of that game. But you can't ignore the fact that 2 of his turnovers, a bad interception, and an awful fumble where you just cannot allow that to happen. The pick I almost get because, like, you can get fooled. That's a good defense. I mean, that
Well,
kid,
not only that, on the pick, somebody was in the wrong place.
Yeah,
but I actually think that Brian Thomas was supposed to clear the safety to hit that. That's my guess. I don't know. The bottom line
Tony,
is,
but I watched it again because I did watch it, and if he runs a post corner, he walks in for a touchdown. Brian Thomas, the way they were playing it, the way that safety was flat-footed right there, McKinney.
Yeah.
If he runs at him and runs to the sideline, there's not a soul there.
or if he just runs right by him, he's not. The guy's flat-footed.
Yeah, but he's right. But that's not the route, though. I think the route should have been a post corner, or at least if it's not, they should just design that play because it's a touchdown.
But my point
And
is,
then you mentioned the fumble. On the fumble, there's 2 guys in the same spot too when he's getting ready to throw. I don't know if you noticed that too.
I did. But here's my point, Pete. The interception, quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. And Pete always says this. If you're going to press the ball down the field, like, you're going to throw some interceptions. Now, hopefully not very many, and hopefully not at the wrong time. I get that. I'm not saying it's okay, but the fumble is inexcusable. You are backed up. You have to have awareness of the situation. You're backed up. Punting there is fine.
The way he can flip the field, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great punter. We have good special teams. Like, sometimes just punting the ball is okay. Like Pete said, route mess up, so that takes it away. Pressure come in on from the inside because off of a zone dog blitz. You're rolling out. Tuck it.
Can't hold it like a loaf of bread.
You can't hold tuck it and
run take the check down to Ingram. He would have got a first down, but he was open in the flat.
That's fine, Pete. Take the check down or just tuck it and run.
Or throw out of bounds like you're out of the pocket.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Anything but holding it in your left hand, your offhand, getting tackled, and it falls out like a loaf of bread just sitting there on the ground. That's 7 points. That changed now you're down 2 possessions.
Yeah. That's right.
You can't do that.
You still get back. You still tie the game with a bunch of backups.
So now all of a sudden it's bad. This is where I give him credit. It would have been easy. Doug has also talked about this team not facing or dealing with adversity very well. Okay.
It's about as adverse as it gets.
It's adverse. We're down 10 in the fourth quarter against a backup quarterback. Okay, it's about as bad, and we'll get to the defense in a second because that is.
We got a whole segment for
that's
that.
a whole nother story we got to talk about. Yeah. And so, but now here's the positive: quarterback, no receivers. I'll be honest with you. I was sitting in the booth. I'm like, this is over. Like we haven't moved the ball great today. Now we're going to do it without Christian.
Who are they throwing to? Right.
No, the most dynamic player on our team, Brian Thomas Jr. Mm-mm. No, Gabe Davis. Like, okay, so who are we throwing the ball to? And you know what Trevor did? And I know, and Doug talked about everyone else, but it starts with the quarterback. You know what the quarterback did? And the line, and Doug's right, the line was outstanding. They protected. The receivers ran crisp routes, but he was dealing on target, on time.
Decisive.
I'm like, okay. Like right here, running out of the pocket, buying time, finding, Ernest in the middle of the field, big play. Like, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. And I'm like, this is good football. And what I hope is that Trevor, that offensive line, and whoever the receivers are can like take this as a confidence builder. It's like, guys, we're good. We can do this. Look what we did against a very good Green Bay defense with backups, with, I guarantee you, a bunch of guys that probably have never been on the practice field at the same time together in a 2-minute situation. Like, that's good stuff.
And you know what's pretty amazing about it? Well, again, he looked very comfortable in it, which goes back to my theory all the time.
I knew we were going here. I knew we were coming here.
He does. I mean, do you really? Is it that hard to see? He plays better in those situations. He's more comfortable. I mean, he made Strange look like Kelsey in his prime. I mean, he was much more comfortable. Now, having said that, he got away with a terrible throw that Alexander should have picked, and Washington made a good play on in the end zone.
Okay.
Right?
That's a great job by Parker Washington. Like, bail your quarterback out. Fight for the ball.
And
that's good.
Parker Washington ran some really good routes.
Parker Washington, I'm telling you, heck of a draft pick, too. I mean, late round pick, year 2, making a difference in teams. And if you watch him when he gets opportunities, he's not a burner, but he runs some really good routes, and he's good with the football after he catches it. Okay. Brenton Strange. I
like the seam throw to Strange down the field. That
great
was
play.
nice.
Let me tell you what about Brenton Strange. Like, when he was a second rounder last year, we drafted him, and he did nothing for us. And he just wasn't a part. Then I think he got hurt. It was just like oh gosh, like, and you know how I feel about needing offensive linemen. So I'm like, oh, anytime we get a high pick, I'm like, man, we need big guys. But anyways, you come into this year. Brenton Strange is the best blocker on the team. The best blocker. The dude finishes everything. Plays with extreme effort. And then to see him in the passing game the last couple weeks, making some plays. And how about the run after the catch? He looks like, huge. I thought he was Mark Bavaro running over people.
Over. That was awesome.
Yeah. And so, I'm not trying to sugarcoat and saying, oh, it's so positive, because it was an utter disaster losing to a team at home who literally had a one-legged quarterback for the first half.
Couldn't touch him.
And we couldn't even get close to him. Mm-hmm. And you had a quarterback in the second half. How many attempts did they have? 4 attempts in the second half, JP?
Why would they throw the ball?
They didn't throw the ball, and they ran it right down your throat.
Yeah.
And offensively, you know what you did? You helped them by turning the ball over and giving them 7. Like, that's bad football. And
the offense took a while to get going. They looked bad
terrible. The first quarter and a half.
Trevor looked bad in the first quarter.
Trevor couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
No, he was high. He was long striding again. It just didn't look. There was no rhythm to it.
We couldn't run the ball.
How big is the barn? But yeah, you're right. I'm
not
throwing high. It was just not right.
No, it was this interception we're seeing right there. So, it's one of those games. It's like, man, we're 2-6, disastrous. And you're going
see where he's running down the seam. Tony, the guy kind of squats on the two of them because they're both right together.
Yeah, somebody's wrong.
Here. He's got to run the post. If he goes to the corner right there, the corner route, nobody goes with him. He's in the hole by himself. He's got a touchdown. It's so easy to see. If they don't design that play that way, it should be.
Frustrating.
And so that was just so I think somebody miscommunicated there. So, but Trevor shouldn't.
No, it's a terrible throw.
Yeah.
Terrible throw.
But here's the deal. So this is where we're at, Pete. And we got to talk about the defense.
Yeah, we got that coming up later.
Because this is not a good team. And it pains me to say that. And I'm not and what do I mean by that? Because good teams, and Pete, you've covered this league for a long time. Good teams find ways to win games. Bad teams find ways to lose games. And right now, the reason I'm saying we're a bad team because we're 2-6, or you are what your record says you are, but more than anything, why it's a disappointing bad team is because we're finding ways to lose. We're outside of Buffalo, we just got blown out of the stadium. Take that off the board. That happens. But the rest of the year, we are finding ways to lose. We're finding ways to make mistakes. We're extending drives. We're turning it over. Pre-snap penalties.
Ooh.
Like just doing silly stuff.
Yeah,
busting
third and 3 into 3rd and 8.
Yeah, busting coverages. Like how about at the end of the half?
Oof. We
are so fortunate.
Yep.
We have a penalty on a field goal, give an automatic first down, and give the defense credit for coming back out there and getting 3 and out. And giving the offense a chance to go get some points, but that you can't that's not winning. That's not winning football.
It also cost you 40 seconds off the clock, so they could have got the ball back and gone down the field. In theory, and got points themselves.
They went and got didn't they go get a field goal?
They got a field goal, but everyone said they were moving the ball. They could have maybe got a touchdown. They ran out of time. They couldn't take any shots because they had no time, no timeouts. They had to burn timeouts again because of the.
Yeah, it was definitely it's sloppy football. There's sloppy football.
And that's what's frustrating because when you get glimpses of what this team did, like in the fourth quarter, what we did offensively with a bunch of guys who are not in the game plan to come out there and to execute against a good defense, it almost frustrates you more. It's almost like, man, it'd be better off just not to think these guys are any good or don't think we have, good coaches or good players or good people or any it'd be just great because then it's easy. It's like, they stink. But it's a football team that just finds ways to lose. And that's what's so frustrating, I think, for everybody involved in the organization, fans, everyone.
We've got plenty to get to. Yes,
hey, wait, real
quickly.
quick, JP. We got to comment on those words by Doug Peterson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it when we come back.
We can do that. Well, then we come back. We got to get to the defense, though, when we come back. We haven't touched on them yet. Long day at the office for those guys. Again, we've talked about that a lot this year. At least the shows I've been on. I have been on all of them.
You've been playing hooky.
I have. Thanks to Kainani Stevens, by the way.
Kai's a rock star.
Filled in Admiral. The rating spike went through the roof.
She's good.
They really did. They really did.
Much nicer than you, too.
Very much. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. We're back with more. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Chelsea here. Another month and another high utility bill. Those old windows and doors might be the culprit, letting valuable energy escape. At Renewal by Andersen, our energy-efficient windows and doors have the latest advanced technology, keeping your home comfortable all year round. Renewal by Andersen has a limited-time offer. Buy 4 windows and/or patio doors and get the 5th one free. Plus, enjoy 0 money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Some restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for all the details. License number CGC 1527613.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, PowerBoost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
The 2024 season is Pawsome. Register your pet for the Four-Legged Fan Club, presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your furry friend can access exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Fan club members will be automatically entered to win the Pet of the Game sweepstakes with 2 Jags tickets and sideline passes for pet owners, and the chance for your pet to be featured on the video boards as Pet of the Game. Visit Jaguars.com/promotions/Four-Legged Fan Club to sign up.
This definitely hurts right now. We had every opportunity to win this game, and again, it comes back down to those little mistakes, or I don't know what happened on that last play. I think Cisco got hurt or something, so hopefully he's feeling all right. But this one's definitely gonna hurt because I feel like we had a great game, defensively, special teams, offensively. I think we all made big plays when we needed it the most, but we didn't get this victory. So, this one really hurts.
That is Josh Hines. Allen, welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. And if you want customized Jaguars furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zip Chair, furniture for fans. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. Coming up 2 weeks from now, the Boselli Foundation Tailgate with Tony. Sunday, November 10th, before the Vikings game. 10 to 12:30 at Metro Park. Food, drinks, games, live entertainment by the band Be Easy. Tickets at BoselliFoundation.com or hit the QR code on the screen if you're on Jaguars YouTube, and it'll take you straight to a link to get in. Tony, you're going to be there, right? Because it's your party, I hope.
I'll be there for a little bit. Obviously, I have some game day responsibilities, but I will be there for a portion of it, and it's going to be good. Be good food, a little good music. Kind of get everyone ready to go. Hopefully, celebrate a big win.
Got some alumni guys coming.
Alumni guys. It'll be fun, and very thankful to the Jaguars organization for partnering with us to do it and raising money for mentoring programs and supporting teachers here in Duval County.
You know what, Tony? I was going to say you should do it on a game where they could probably have a good chance to win the game. And I go through the schedule and I go, well, that would be really late in the season, I think, against the Titans, maybe. I mean, you can't wait that long.
Titans are bad.
Oh, they're really bad. But I mean, you look. What's the home game that they could win? Right.
So we have Minnesota left. We have Texans left. We have
Jets, who aren't very good either.
Jets, Titans. That's the 4, right?
That's the 4.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, every game's winnable.
Yeah, it's the NFL.
It's the NFL.
We saw the Patriots look so bad last week against Jacksonville beat the Jets this week.
Yeah, I mean, every game's winnable.
So the Browns beat the Ravens yesterday.
And it goes back to what we talked about the last segment, Pete. And we're going to talk about defense now.
Yeah.
No, before we get to defense, I want to go back to that comment from Doug Peterson.
Go ahead.
Which one? The one off the top. Doug Peterson.
Yeah, when Hayes Carline asked him that question about Trevor driving the ball down the field, and he kind of just glossed over the stuff that Trevor did and went right to the other guys. And alarms go off in my head because I'm a cynic anyways, and I think alarms have gone off in other people's heads as well. Is there a problem with the coach and quarterback relationship? Now, as a guy who covered a coach quarterback relationship that was fractured, and I wrote about it, and it ended up helping mend some of that, Why?
What are you trying to say, Pete? What is the
back in the? So let me give a little context here.
Yeah, Tony knows I'm right on this one.
There was a game. I think it was in '99.
It was the Titans game.
The rain. And what happened was we were on the doorstep, like the 4-yard line, I think, to go win the game and end it. And there's a chance we would have gone undefeated, because we only lost twice. And this was early in the season, and I was mad about the call. And Tom was
because it was a throw.
It was a throw.
Pass.
We just went from the 10 to like the 3 or 4, whatever it was, running the ball. So it's 2nd and goal from the 4. Yeah. I'm like, let's run it again. I mean, I'm a knucklehead offensive lineman. I always want to run it.
Why not?
And Tom, this is the year Tom's calling plays too. We have an offensive coordinator, but Tom is calling plays. And Tom calls a naked bootleg, and Mark throws a pick to end the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
then they took the safety.
And but that was the game. It was over.
Right.
And
clearly would have been naked bootleg left.
It was naked. Yeah, it was naked. It was naked left. So he faked the zone to the right. He naked's left, and he threw. I don't even know who picked it or what the situation was. It was a pick. And I'm pretty sure Tom said something in the post-game press conference, which Tom never did. Like, it was very out of character for Tom. Pete, am I not right about that? Like, Tom would never, call out individual. Like, he called the team because it was all about team. And I don't know. I can't remember what the comment was, but I remember it being controversial because everyone's like, ooh. Like, that was not like Tom. And Pete, in all his glory, ran with it like a little kid running downstairs to the Christmas tree.
Story. You're giving half the story again.
No, that's all. That's all I really remember, Pete.
Pete, you were writing it. What was the rest of the story?
I'm just giving the background because it was definitely noisy in the locker room.
Yeah.
Because of what was said.
Okay.
And that's all. I'm being honest, Pete. That's all I remember, honestly.
Okay. First off, it was pouring.
Pouring rain. It was like downpour. It was like a monsoon.
So that's kind of what happened with the throw. It was it was ugly because he kind of slips out of his hands. He shouldn't have called that play. But he comes in there and he kind of calls out Brunell. But the next day, he brings Brunell into his office and further calls him out. Remember?
Now that you say that, I do. I did not remember that. I really didn't.
And so that's where the genesis of that whole thing really took off. And when it took off, of course, naturally, I get wind of it. So I get a story, and I'm going to write this story that there's a quarterback situation with the head coach. And the newspaper at the time said, you can't write it unless you get more sources on it. Well, I got enough. They wouldn't let me make a headline out of it. I ended up writing a column about it. And that's when Coughlin came out in Pittsburgh and kind of came out screaming at me. And so that type of relationship.
Can we just be clear, though, Pete? That was only one of the times that Coughlin came and yelled at you, because I can remember several times in the hallway Tom chasing you down.
But this was in public, in front of other people in the media room. And so, so that was that quarterback coach relationship at the time was not great. They kind of mended that, and Mark, over the years, Mark has nothing but the utmost respect.
Mark loves Tom. Loves Tom. And Tom loves Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And they should. But at the moment, it wasn't great. And so I sense when I hear Doug gloss over his quarterback going, 8 of 10 on that drive, throwing to guys in new spots and playing wide receiver who weren't there before, and he just glosses over it without really saying anything, my radar goes up, and all of a sudden I'm saying to myself, and I know others around the city are saying the same thing, is there a problem with the coach and quarterback? And it's not the first time we've heard that.
Yeah, I saw it on X because I didn't see it live. I saw it on X, and someone was making a similar comment to what Pete's saying. I'll be honest with you. I listened to it. I mean, I guess you could, I'll say this. If I would have heard it without the commentary Pete just said or the X commentary, I probably wouldn't have thought much of it. Mm-hmm. I can see what he's saying. I don't take it that way from Doug because that doesn't fit kind of who I've seen Doug be over the last 2.5 years now. I think Doug is so frustrated Like my sense, Pete, it's not about – I think he's frustrated with the quarterback's turnovers. Yeah. I think he's frustrated about the defense not getting stops. I think he's frustrated about pre-snap penalties. I think he is so frustrated that –
he's like, yeah, the quarterback is fine.
He's like,
yeah, whatever.
And his thinking is, wait a second. I'm so mad at the quarterback for fumbling on the 5-yard line and giving up 7. Like, I have no energy right now to say anything positive. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, but again, Tony, that goes back to the stuff with Mark. Mark threw the interception, and he kind of laid him out for it. And without giving him credit for what he did on that drive, you kind of you're laying the blame on him for the loss and not giving him credit for bringing them back to where they were 27-27. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. And Pete, I'm not going to argue with you. I get your perspective. I'm just saying, me listening to it, I was like, okay, maybe I would have said it differently, but I don't know. I mean, when you're
hasn't there been talk earlier in the season about a kind of a
we
cool
did
relationship?
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think there was another press conference. Your spidey senses were going off for that too, as far as like, wait a second, something's going on here.
Well, remember when Trevor, after I think it was the Browns game, came out in the press conference and started kind of talking a little differently about, hey, he was not like ripping into guys, but it was a little out of Trevor's normal character, you know.
Here's my
something around that, maybe.
Yeah, here's my
takeaway.
Yeah, I think you're right, JP. Here's my takeaway about it all, guys. When you're losing, everything is wrong. I mean, in the NFL, when you're losing, everything is bad, everything is wrong, everyone's to blame. I mean, everybody is. And what happens is, in the media and shows like we do and in the fan base and everything else, everybody is looking for a solution. And so every problem, even if it's a small one, they're trying to find. It's like, there it is. That's it right there. It's a quarterback-coach relationship, or it's this, or it's that. And sometimes it's everything. Sometimes it's a lot of things. And I have rarely seen in the game of football, whether it's a game, an organization, the culture of the organization, whatever you want to say, where there's one magic bullet. Like, if we just do this, everything's going to fix. If we can just, like, to Pete, and I know Pete's genuine about this. Like, Pete has said multiple times on this show, they need to play faster. If they play faster, everything's going to be great. And I'm like, maybe. Maybe
better.
Not great. Fast 3 and out, too.
Maybe if you play faster, your defense is on the field more.
Maybe. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay,
not great.
Fair. But if you play faster, the defense is out there more.
Yeah. And
our defense can't handle that.
Nope. They wouldn't be out there long either because you have one play touchdown.
Maybe your defense plays with a lead.
Maybe. but that's you're making my point, Pete. I think we're all searching for answers, and we all have opinions. My opinion, it's not one thing. I think it's several things. And I just don't take much about the coach saying nice things or unnice things. However you want to take that soundbite.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's why we're losing.
All right, we've got to come back. We've got to get to the defense.
We're going defense next.
We've got to go defense. There's so much defense to talk about.
Yes, there is.
A whole lot.
Yeah, it's going to be not a fun conversation, though.
We're on Jaguars Happy Hour on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. Sign up your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets. Presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital, your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Visit Jaguars.com/promotions/four-legged fan club and sign up today. What about the Jags defense? We'll find out after this. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top-quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
Hey, Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
The scheme? Is it the execution by the players? You know, I would say it's a little of both right now. And look, bottom line is sometimes, and I'm not saying this is the case, but you know, you don't want to do too much on the field, right? You don't want to take things into your own hands and think you got to do somebody else. Just ask you to do your job. Coaches coach, players play, all that. But just do your job, and we'll be fine. And when you see the good out there, that's what's happening. All 11 are playing as one. But sometimes there's, you know, every now and then you get the one guy that, you know, maybe he's out of his gap or does something a little bit different or forgot an assignment or something like that, and it hurts us.
Head coach Doug Peterson today discussing the defense, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. Looking for the MVP of the truck game? Better check out the 2024 Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and game-changing tech, you can dominate, work, play, and everything in between. Test drive an F-150 at your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're on 1010XL, AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, the Hall of Famer, and CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco. Jaguars defense gave up 30 yesterday. Now, 14 of those were on short fields after the giveaways by the Jaguars, of course, but they happened. There were some moments where, okay, they held them to field goals, fine. But, boy, in the big moment at the end, breaks open for the big pass down the field. And, you know, Andre Sisco, I guess, was cramping, he said, on the play. You know, that I remember you said it on the air. You said, hey, on that play.
Oh, he went down at the end. But let's be clear.
He says a cramp. Anyway.
He got picked. He got picked. He was beat before any cramp ever happened.
Yeah, all right, fair.
According to the film.
And to be honest with you, Tony, he was beat before any pick happened.
Well,
it was a leak. It was a leak, and they hit him very well in the slot there.
First of all,
leaked late.
It's a great play call.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What I don't understand, not a defensive coordinator, so maybe I'm just watching the tape, we had at least 9 guys, maybe 10, in the box. And part of me, I guess, understands it because they're afraid of Josh Jacobs running the ball down their throats like he did the previous drive, or 2 drives earlier.
Or the quarterback holding it and going.
Or the quarterback holding it. But I guess my philosophy would be is like not. I'm not saying play super soft, but you can't let anything get behind you. Like force them. Like if you beat us with a minute, whatever that was on the clock, minute 30 at that time, I think.
Something like that.
And you can run the ball down the field at 4 yards a clip and beat us, okay. Like, you can, like, but, or if you can beat us with Malik Willis completing and, 5 or 6 passes and getting down in field goal range, okay.
I mean, remember, they started the drive with a 4-yard run.
Yeah, I know.
And so they run the clock, and then it's 1:13, the pass hits.
Yeah, like
the
you just
down.
Well, here's the other part of that, Tony. They're playing man to man, and
that's my point.
The one thing he can do is take off.
Yeah.
You have your back to
that's
him.
Right.
He's gonna we saw that earlier in the game. Yeah. It was just a bad call on defense. I mean, look at the linebackers off that play action.
Pete, they were playing run first. I get it, but
they all have their turn and they have their backs to the entire thing. Did you see it?
I saw it. I don't understand. Like, one, I don't understand playing man in that situation. Like, play zone, keep everything in front of you, keep eyes on the quarterback. Like, come up, hit, tackle. Like, force.
How many timeouts did the Packers have left
2.
at that moment?
Yep.
2.
They had a couple.
But you still make them go get the field, go earn it.
Yeah, make them use their timeouts early, come up and tackle.
Right.
Like, if Malik Willis beats you, throwing 4 or 5 passes down the field,
hey,
tip your hat
cool.
and go home.
Yep.
What yard line was that play?
It started on the 30.
30-yard line was his drive starter. Then that play was
34.
from the 34.
Okay, so 34. So let's just say he gets, a 10-yarder, an incomplete, an 8-yarder, 9-yarder, when they get a first down, you're still going to be kicking a 45, 50-yard field goal to win it rather than point-blank range to win it. So, yeah, I'm with you, Tony. If he does that, he's earned it.
Sure. I get it. But to play man with, Cisco was 4 yards off the line of scrimmage in the wash, and watching the tape, unless he cramped before the snap,
It was going down, and he was already 5 yards wide open.
He wasn't covering him if he was week 1, perfect health, no heat, nothing.
Well, he wasn't covering him if he doesn't get picked either, because I know a lot of people pointed out the pick. He was beat by the time he got picked.
Well, by the way, he got picked by his own guy.
Yeah.
He got picked it wasn't really a pick. It was over. It was gone.
That guy leaked out. He didn't pay attention to him. He leaked out, and off he went. It was a great play call by the Packers and poor execution and poor defensive call by the Jaguars.
All right.
The surprising part of it is they caught him in man. How would you think? I mean, you would think that they wouldn't be playing man and that play wouldn't work in that situation.
It did. That was the key moment of the game, clearly, and the field goal came right after that. But earlier in the game, the Jaguars were playing against a one-legged quarterback.
And we couldn't get to him.
They had one quarterback hit in the first half of the game when it was clear he couldn't move. It was painful for him to hand the football off.
He could not move. On the first drive, on a 3rd down, he's rolling to the right. He tries to throw it back to the middle of the field. The guy was wide open. He missed him. And on that throw,
it was Jacobs, yeah.
It was Jacobs. He clearly pulls his groin, and he limps off the field. For the rest of the first half, he is limping around and trying to make a go of it. And I'm like, let's go. Come after him and hit him and make him he can't move. And we couldn't get to him.
They blitzed a little bit, right?
But they couldn't get to him.
And that didn't even get home.
And then in the second half, okay, but the defense, gave up 13 points. Hung in there.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Got a turnover.
They were good early in the game.
Right? Okay,
cool.
It's not great, but, we're right in the game with the offense playing just pitiful for a quarter and a half. So, tip your hat. All right, we're all right. We're fine. second half comes. He tries to start. 2 plays, he's out.
Because that was the play that Trayvon hit him kind of in the back. And
he can't protect himself. Yeah. He's done. Get out of there. And so the rookie comes. I mean, not the rookie. The backup quarterback comes in, Malik Willis. And right away, I'm like, this dude can't he can't operate the offense that Jordan Love does because he's not the thrower. He's not a great thrower of the football. Not super accurate. And I'm like, all right, let's just stop the run. Stop the run, force him to beat you. We do it fine on the first series. Get off. We go down to score. 17-13. I'm like, there we go. The drive that just killed me was they get the ball and they go 76 yards. All run. They had one called pass play that as soon as the first guy's not open, we're in man. We're in man, and he runs, and there's nobody there.
He could have thrown it, by the way. He had a guy wide open.
I know, also there. But he doesn't want to throw it.
Right. Here's the play list of that drive. 8 plays, 80 yards. It was Jacobs up the middle for 5. Jacobs up the middle for 4. Jacobs up the middle for 2. Jacobs up the middle for 5. Wilson up the middle for 1. Willis pass short left to Wicks for 5.
Oh, so
Willis,
they had one pass. Sorry.
Willis scrambles right in for 20, and then Jacobs up the middle, 38 yards, touchdown. That was the drive.
How many passes did he have in the second half? I want to say it was 4, I thought.
Malik Willis had 4 of 5 passing in the game.
So
So those are all in the second half.
So he had 5. They threw the ball 5 times.
That's amazing.
Yep.
By the way, which hockey lines were on the field during that drive? Who was rotated in? Who came over the boards to get in the rotation on that drive? Were they all involved? Did they take the starters out? Who was in that drive? It's amazing.
I've stopped trying to figure out who's playing when and why and how and what. I don't understand the rhyme, and I can't figure out if there's any rhyme or reason to our substitution pattern.
JP, you got the snap counts there?
Oh, do I? Yeah, I do.
Give me the defensive snap counts, because this is like, you're going to go through these and you're going to go, what?
All right, here we go. We got to do this pretty quickly here because we get a break. Defensive snap counts. Tyson Campbell, 99%. Savage, 99%. Cisco, 94%. Aluakin, 64 snaps out of 70, so that's 91%.
Coming back off injury, that's okay.
That's more than normal, actually, for him, I think.
Right.
Josh Hines-Allen, 60 snaps out of 70. Jarian Jones, 58 snaps. Trayvon Walker, 54 snaps. Devon Hamilton, 47. Monteric Brown, 45. Ventrell Miller, the linebacker, 41 snaps. Ledbetter, 40 on the D-line. Devin Lloyd, 39 snaps at linebacker. We can keep going. Tyler Lacey, that's enough. Yeah.
But you see the point there. And then how many did Prince play?
Prince played 17 snaps at corner.
And that's because Darby got dinged, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's mainly why.
I don't know.
I mean, they have 3 other corners though. They have Brown, Campbell, and Jones. So I mean, I swear if they had 2 more corners soon enough, they'd all play 15. I just for the life of me, I can't figure it out. I don't understand it. I never will. And if I'm not mistaken, in that key drive at one point, the 2 best pass rushers aren't on the field together.
Well, I mean, I think the frustrating thing is you can't get to. You have an injured guy that you know is injured. You don't find a way to get to him. Okay, but you get a turnover. You manage. You're in the game. Now you have the backup in. You know they're changing the offense
because he can run.
They're just going to run the ball, and so again, not a defensive coordinator, but I know enough. Okay. We understand what we're dealing with. Let's adjust accordingly. And we at the end of the day, we couldn't get the stops. And we couldn't get the stops when it mattered. And the last drive, giving up a big play was the one thing you couldn't do.
Yep.
And we did it.
Let's come back. Coming up in the second hour in just a little bit, we've got Fanatics fan questions. It's a little bit away. We're going to keep it real with the trade deadline looming. Everybody's looking forward to that. I'll tell you. Back in a moment. The Jaguars are facing off against the Vikings Sunday, November 10th. The Salute to Service game. See the shell white alternate helmets in action for the first time. Join us in honoring the military all game long. Lock in your tickets at Jaguars.com/tickets. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. We're presented by Jet Home Loans on 1010XL, AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube after a Jaguars loss to the Packers. Coming up in just a few minutes, the second hour of the program. We'll get to the top stories of the day. We'll get some Fanatics fan questions. All that's coming up. Keep it real. We haven't done that yet, Pete. In the first hour,
we don't ever keep it real, do we?
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, never. Hey, the punter had a good game, Pete.
Whenever you're talking about your punter, that means you had a bad day.
It's exactly the truth, right? That's what it is.
If you're raving about your punter, you're having a bad day.
We've had a lot of years where we've raved about the punting.
I mean, he's a good punter.
He is,
but you don't want to see him.
No, see him in the Pro Bowl. That's fine. Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, look, JP, the defense has interior defensive line issues that manifest itself in a lot of ways. They get no inside pressure at all. They're not great against the run.
No.
And they get pushed around. There are actually plays when you watch that yesterday where the double team takes both tackles and moves them 4 yards off the ball at the snap. They're on skates. That can't happen.
Who was on skates?
Someone at the Jags interior D line.
On a couple of those plays, Tony, those guys got the double team took them so far off the ball, like right at the snap. They're off the ball. They're getting on skates, and then the linebackers can't get to them.
Well, how many yards they rushed for? 170? Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Well, when you give up 170 yards rushing, Pete, that means you got physically beat.
Well, how many is the Willis
20.
run? I mean, they could say, yeah.
Okay.
So 150.
Okay, take that off.
150.
Yeah, they got mauled.
If you give up 150, especially when for half the game, they don't want to throw the ball. In the first half of the game, they got an injured quarterback, and you give up 150, it means you got physically beat at the point of attack. That's what that means.
You watched the tape, right?
Yes.
Hamilton actually made a couple plays in the run game.
Sure.
For a group that was getting blown off the ball. He actually made a couple. The problem is nobody wins right at the point of attack and what was the last time you saw a guy stuffed in the backfield? By a guy who wins is one-on-one, gets off of it, and gets into the backfield and stuffs him.
Every once in a while. I mean, Trayvon got on the jet sweep.
Yes. I'm talking about on the inside.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
No, not often.
You see it from Josh and Trayvon at times. Like our core. Montero Brown's a good tackler. He comes up off the edge sometimes.
On the edge.
Yeah. To your point, not much, Pete.
Yeah, and that's you watch tape around the league and other teams, and there's always a couple plays where a guy knifes through and makes a play in the backfield from his inside of the defense, and it doesn't happen. And the second round pick sitting on his ass.
Oof. We're back in a moment. Second hour of the program coming up. We will keep it real, as we always do. Plus the Fanatics fan questions. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
Chelsea here. Another month and another high utility bill. Those old windows and doors might be the culprit, letting valuable energy escape. At Renewal by Anderson, our energy-efficient windows and doors have the latest advanced technology, keeping your home comfortable all year round. Renewal by Anderson has a limited-time offer. Buy 4 windows and/or patio doors and get the 5th one free. Plus, enjoy 0 money down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Some restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for all the details. License number CGC 1527613.
Looking for the perfect place to host a business trip, corporate group, or social gathering? Look no further than the award-winning Sheraton Jacksonville Hotel, proudly part of the Marriott family of hotels. Centrally located next to the St. John's Town Center off Gate Parkway in JTB, they offer everything you need, whether you're hosting a meeting or just unwinding with friends at the BC Grill and Patio. Discover comfort and convenience like never before. Search Sheraton Jacksonville or call 904-564-4772 today.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
Had a good start, first down. You know, we're, a 6-7 yard completion now, first down to Tank, and then 2 incompletions. I mean, those are just things we got to continue to look at, and you know, it's just that execution part, right? And then as coaches making the decisions and the type of calls that we're making, and you know, just look at it and make sure we're doing the right thing there. And but again, it took us into the second quarter against New England to get going, and it took us about to the 14th play of this game, you know, to get us going. So, you know, that's something we've got to look at and really make an emphasis of, you know, starting like the way we finish. That would be ideal, you know, as we move forward.
It certainly would. That's head coach Doug Peterson, and welcome back. It's the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. It is presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. The Jaguars overcame 2 different 10-point deficits in the game, including one inside of 2 minutes, but lost on a field goal as time expired, 30-27 to the Green Bay Packers. Brandon McManus, of all people, hit the field goal at the end. The Jags defense struggled against the Packers running game, 170 yards on the ground for Green Bay, and they failed to get consistent pressure on the Packers quarterbacks, including one playing on one leg. The injuries piling up. 3 starting receivers left the game, did not return. The starting left guard left the game, did not return. The starting right guard left the game. He did come back. The starting corner didn't come back in the game. There was a long list yesterday. 2 costly Trevor Lawrence turnovers led to 14 Packers points, but the Jags drove the field for that game-tying touchdown with 2 minutes to play in the game. With the big play allowed by the Jags defense led to the field goal. The Jaguars are now 2-6. They're headed to Philadelphia now this week for a game that was flexed out of Sunday Night Football, and it's now a 4:05 kick for the Jaguars and Eagles, and the tough stretch continues. NFC contenders coming up at the Eagles, home against the Vikings, at the Lions before the bye week, and then the Texans come to town. That's about it tonight, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a stretch of 5 straight playoff teams.
Yeah, all 5 with winning records.
Or playoff caliber teams, to say.
That's right.
Brutal.
Pete, it's brutal when you're 2-5 or where you're 2-5 going into it. But if you'd have been 5-2, you're like, okay, like if you consider yourself one of the upper echelon teams, like those are the teams you got to go beat. I'm not saying you're going to win every one of them, but that's the NFL.
And to be honest with you, up until this past week, there were questions about the Eagles. They looked good on Sunday against the Bengals, but there were questions about them. The Texans haven't looked as good. The Vikings have suddenly come back to reality a little bit. So, yeah, it doesn't look as daunting, but when you're not very good, everything looks daunting.
That's my point. That's exactly right. And, you know, the Eagles were 2-2 going into their bye. They've won 3 straight, if I got the math right. Is that right?
It's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're getting better. They're getting healthier. I think their left tackle is still on IR.
He is.
But they got a good offensive line. They got good skill. Quarterback can beat you with his arm and his legs. And then defensively, they're starting to play better as well. They got a bunch of talent on that side of the ball. So they're a good football team. But you can say that most weekends you're playing. And you got to...
Unless it's like Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. There's only a handful of teams that are really, really, really bad. I mean, even the Patriots, who we didn't think were very good, went and found a way to win a game against the Jets.
They did.
Okay.
They did.
And that's the NFL. And we have to go find a way to go beat a good Philly team. And you're going to probably go up there down some guys. But that's also part of the NFL.
By the way, we mentioned the laundry list of injuries, and Doug Peterson did update some of those today. Brian Thomas Jr. talked in the locker room, said he should be trending the right way, and that was echoed by the head coach. So that's positive with a chest injury.
Well, even though there was a report out there that said he was going to miss 2 to 4 weeks, and then Mike DiRocco kind of talked to him and said, no, that's not the case.
Yeah, I was standing there when he said it and said it's not the case at all. He's planning on going. So we'll see. Christian Kirk's done. Gabe Davis should be okay, moving ahead. Just had lost feeling and couldn't get it back during the game with a shoulder issue. Ezra Cleveland, ankle, and day today, according to the head coach. Brandon Sheriff, sore. He's a tough guy. That's what he said about him. Darby's day-to-day with a hip injury. So there you go.
How will they start when they're in a 3-receiver group next week?
I think it's
Thomas.
Assuming Gabe Davis comes back and Thomas come back, it's Gabe Davis, Parker Washington, and Brian Thomas Jr.
Correct. Okay, so what if Gabe Davis isn't back? Because I guess it's got to be.
You're probably going to bring a receiver.
Well, you're going to bring a receiver up. Probably Trammell is my guess. Maybe Elijah Cooks.
I bet Tim Jones would get the play though.
Yeah, I think Tim Jones is probably your guy.
Or some more 2 tight end stuff.
Yeah, they used a lot of that on that last drive because both of them can catch the ball, so you could use that.
I mean, you could go with Evan and Strange, Parker Washington, and Brian Thomas Jr. as well. It's not a bad group.
No.
At all.
No.
I'll be honest with you. Parker Washington's been more impressive than Gabe Davis.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Hasn't had a lot of offensive opportunities.
He has a little bit of a wiggle to him. He runs really. His route improvement from year 1 to year 2 is amazing.
He's very quick. I don't think he's fast, but he is very quick. Now, when I say not fast, like he's
relative to
the normal human being, he's very fast. He's probably like a 4 or 5. He's like a 4 or 5, but he's not Brian Thomas fast.
He looks faster than Gabe Davis.
I think he probably is.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it funny? Gabe Davis was once this like vertical threat in the passing game with Buffalo. Remember when he went nuts against the Chiefs?
But but Pete, wasn't he always the second or third guy in Buffalo?
Yeah, but every team has a guy like the Packers have Christian Watson, who's a vertical threat. That's what he is. That's what Gabe Davis was kind of perceived as that. Now he was never truly a clock burner, but he played fast, and now he doesn't even play fast. I mean, I think Parker Washington will fill the Christian Kirk role, and that's what he will do, and he'll do it well, I think. But that other spot is still a major concern to me, and it has been all year.
Well,
they exchanged Zay Jones. No, Zay Jones had some other issues going on as well, as we later found out, but Zay Jones was every bit as good as Gabe Davis was, and he's faster.
Yeah, he's faster.
Yeah, he's a threat down the field.
Faster, very good blocker. Sure, but had some injury issues last year and some other issues. But I think about this Philly game, Pete, and we just talked about the defense, and you were bringing up in the last segment how we got pushed around in the defense a little bit. Well, you're playing another big physical offensive line, like some. No Mulata, helps. He's the biggest human being in the planet. But, they are
square.
They are
square.
They are thick and physical inside. One of the best right tackles in football, in Lane Johnson. And they like to run the ball.
They do.
And they got a quarterback that can run it. And this is where, like Pete brought up the fact that Mason Smith was down again this week.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You said it nicer than he did.
Right. And I don't know why. Was it reported why he was down?
I want to say he got on the report last week.
I thought maybe, but I didn't want to say it because I can't remember exactly.
He might have been on the report, but I don't think that's why he was down.
Stand by.
Because I had thought he was going to be up. And I remember getting to the stadium. I was a little surprised that he was
did
down.
not practice with an ankle injury Friday.
Okay,
that was his first time on the report.
So I think he got something during the week, Pete.
Hey Mason, you got an ankle injury. Make it look good.
I'm not. Where I was going with it is you drafted him in the second round to be a contributor this year.
Yeah, that's usually what second-round guys do, right?
He's a big body. He's physical. Like, I'm not saying you expected a bunch of pass rush from him as a rookie, but you expected that big body to create some problems in the run game. And so I think it does hurt having him down, non-injury related, the first 2 times he was down. At least that's what we were told. This sounds it was like it was an injury on Friday because I thought he was going to be up. But the bottom line is you're not getting production from a guy that you drafted second round because you say, hey, we need to get bigger inside so he can run the defense that we want to run and be physical and stop the run. And
well, it's bad he's getting outplayed by his former teammate who was taken, what, in the 6th round? When was he taken?
Yeah, he was late. Jordan Jefferson.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's
it's a bad. And by the way, I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't think the kid was going to be good because I thought the kid's good. Think the kid has a ton of talent. I really do.
And he still might be good.
Well, he better get it going.
No, but Pete, I'm just saying. Listen, I always think it's now the expectation is when you get drafted in the first 2 rounds that you're going to come in and contribute. Like that's why you draft a guy there.
You contribute.
Contribute. And
you're not going to go save the day.
No, but you're going to contribute. And
right.
He's not contributing right now. Yeah. So that's a loss. That doesn't mean he can't be a good player.
Correct.
I mean, you can go down the list of guys that have been in this organization since when I was here that got drafted in the first year. You're like, huh? And then they get better. And they they produce. Well, I'll just say that, like, was anyone super high on Parker Washington last year as a rookie?
No. And he had the knee injury, the first punt return.
He had all kinds of stuff.
Disappeared.
And Strange has gotten better.
Okay, just so recent history. We had 2 guys. Yeah, Strange, a second rounder. You wish you would have got production out of him last year as a second rounder. Didn't work out. Okay, nothing you can do about that. He has come in this year, and the dude is a dog.
Dog.
He is a dog.
With a W.
With a W. He blocks. He finishes. He's nasty. He's better in the pass game than I thought he was going to be. And, like, the run after the catch, he's physical. Like, he brings a different element to the game than a guy like Evan Ingram, who's a move tight end and very good at what he does and very good in the open field. The catch he made in the end zone, oh, my goodness, what a catch.
Great throw, too.
Great throw.
And you know what, though, Tony? With that position, too, it takes a little time. And I'm just going to go, look, okay, these are the defensive tackles taken in that 2nd round. The guy from Atlanta, Orioro, or whoever you say his name, he's not playing much. Newton just got back off injury, and he's going to be a star for the Commanders. He was taken in the pick number 36. Sweat for the Titans, big physical body. You've seen him play. He's a big physical guy. He's starting. Braden Fisk has already done a lot of good stuff for the Rams as a starter.
Good player.
He was taken at 39. And then you get down and you go, okay, well, where'd they take Mason Smith at 48? And you keep going. They could have had, like, Rosengarten, who started at right tackle look, the fact is you picked him to be a big body defensive tackle who contribute this year on a good team. You didn't think he was not going to contribute on a bad team, on a bad defense, and he hasn't. And that's the most disappointing part of it right now for them.
Well, especially when you coming off the heels of a game where you knew you had to stop the run. Mm-hmm. You knew the quarterback was injured in the first half and second half couldn't throw. And you gave up 150 yards rushing to running backs, another 20 to the quarterback.
How about the other interior guys like Ledbetter, Lacey, Otomewo was down yesterday.
Guys.
I think what they are is I think they're solid guys. I don't think
they're rotational guys.
I think they're rotational guys. I think that's fair. And that team they're starting. The rotational guys, but they play a lot because everybody plays a lot because everybody's in the rotation. That's just the way it is. I don't think any of those guys, and then you have Eric Armstead, who's not playing really 3 technique in base, who's a very good 3 technique at the 49ers for his career. Another guy, by the way, who started slow in his career, Pete. Did he not?
Yeah, I mean, look, it can happen. But
and was very good. But my point is,
him in the 2nd round, Tony, with the idea he would be an immediate contributor.
I get that. I'm just saying, I'm not going to write off Mason Smith. I'm going to say he's not producing this year like you want him to at a position that you don't have any real standouts.
I just hope it's. Remember how they always had the curse of the wide receiver for a long time until Brian Thomas seemingly has broken it. It might be the curse of the Smith name in the second round for defensive linemen. You know what that is, going back in history.
I do.
Larry Smith.
He was a good rotational player.
Yeah, but wasn't he taken in the second round?
Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah. So I mean, look, Mason Smith should be playing. Period. Get him on the field.
Well, the bottom line is you need to. Now, in fairness,
and he was a second-round pick, Larry Smith, in '99.
In fairness, though,
the curse of the second-round Smiths.
In fairness, though, this team had been pretty good against the run.
Yeah, right. They were terrible against the pass
until this week.
Yeah.
Now the question is, are teams just doing what they want to do? Like, hey, we're going to throw it this time, and they throw it all over the yard. And we had until the Patriots the worst pass defense.
You got any grandkids on the way, Tony? Because they wouldn't be the curse of the left tackle Boselli.
No, I do not. And then the Packers, when we have to stop the run because that's all they're going to do, especially in the second half, we couldn't stop it. That's the frustrating part. And that's what has to be just driving everyone crazy.
They don't get off blocks. When they get – and you know, Tony, when a guy gets doubled, he's got to at least – get off of that, and they're not getting off of them. And when you don't get off of them, you get back into the linebackers, and it makes it tough for the linebackers to make it. Now, Ventrell Miller made a couple plays in the run game where he knifed around the side and came in and made some plays, but it's just when your defensive tackles are going right back at the line of scrimmage, you're going to have problems. Right? You're going to have problems stopping the run. It's just hard to do. And Green Bay's good at those doubles now.
They're a good offensive line, but we're getting my point of bringing this up is we're getting ready to play another good offensive line. I don't know about the Vikings. They lost their left tackle for the year. But the week after we play the Vikings, you're playing another good offensive line in the Detroit Lions. And so this is like
by the way, the Packers center is not very good, and nor has he been very good. There's talk about replacing him, and they still moved him off the ball.
And so like this week, good offensive line. The D-line's got to show up. Vikings, I have no idea.
That's a hard run game to defend too.
And Detroit, they're going to come downhill at you.
Yep.
So you got to. So
and they got tight end.
We're bringing this up is because we have to be better. Because if you give up 150, it's really hard to win.
Let's come back. We're going to keep it real.
Because we've been faking it.
We have been faking it for an hour and 17 minutes so far. Election day is just around the corner, and we all need to show up big for our country, whether you're voting early, by mail, or in person at the polls November 5th. Be sure to make a voting game plan. For more resources and info, visit NFL.com/votes. We'll keep it real after this. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with Everbank. Open an Everbank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative, results-driven marketing and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It shouldn't have necessarily come to that, but again, it just goes back to what I said too, right? I mean, you never know which 2 or 3 plays are going to be the ones that decide football games, and you just got to be ready. Make the ones that come to you and credit them. You know, they hit it and put them in position to win the game.
That's Doug Peterson after the game yesterday on the big pass play that set up the game-winning field goal as time expired. The Packers over the Jaguars 30-27. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick with Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Boselli and CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco. Plenty to discuss just today. But for an hour and 21 minutes, we've been faking it. It is time to Keep It Real, presented by nobody.
Why do we still do this segment if it's not it's not sponsored by anyone? Because we always kind of keep it real.
Because it's awesome.
Okay. Good. Like it.
That's
all I needed.
Trade deadline is Tuesday, November 5th. Not tomorrow. A week from tomorrow. It's also Election Day. It's a lot going on that day.
A lot going on
wow,
that day.
Busy.
Wow.
Should the Jaguars be active, or will the Philly game result give you the answer one way or another?
Be active.
In sellers?
Be active.
Being sellers?
Yeah, I think you're not buyers at 2-6.
Hell no.
I don't think you're buyers at 3-6.
If the Chiefs called you on Cam Robinson and they need a left tackle in the worst way, what would it take to get him from you?
Well,
that's another conversation we haven't touched yet. Is the offensive line and the left tackle yesterday?
Yeah, we can talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Well, let's pick a team that needs a left tackle, Pete.
The Chiefs.
Well, did the kid get hurt? Their draft pick?
He's been benched. They're playing
I
Wanya
haven't
Morris.
paid attention.
And he has about 62 holding penalties a game, and he's awful. And by the way, Jawan Taylor isn't very good either.
So,
okay,
Chiefs
Chiefs
with Cam and Jawan Taylor as their tackles.
Chiefs, or let's say the Vikings, because Dershaw got hurt.
Right. And their backups are Quisenberry and a young kid. So,
well, here's what we know about Cam. Cam cleared the protocol.
He did.
And did not start.
He did not play.
Did not play. Did not start.
Did not start. Did not play. He's been the starting left tackle since 2017.
That's right.
I bet he was engaged on the sideline and helping the guy who's playing, right?
Watching from the booth, so I'm going to just say what I saw publicly because that's all I know. It did not look like it to me.
JP?
I was in the building right here across the street, so I do not know. And they didn't show him on TV.
Yeah, much. Just watching it, typically you would see a guy very engaged. Typically what happens in the NFL, the backups go stand around the coach when they're talking to the starters because you got to be ready to go. Mm-hmm. And Cam did not, just from the booth. Again, I have no idea what the conversation was. Maybe he was told this. I just watching, it seemed odd that he was not engaged with the other offensive linemen when the coach was sitting there going through stuff. Because if Walker Little would have got hurt or Anton Harrison would have got hurt, he was the third tackle. Because there was no other they didn't have anyone else up playing tackle. The three guys that were up, His backups was Fortner, Cooper Hodges, who had to go in and play a little bit at right guard and left guard, and then Cam was the swing tackle. And he just didn't see it. Just body language, watching from the booth, he didn't seem engaged. Take that for what it's worth, because who knows what he was told. But the way that he was healthy, he was cleared to play, and they went with Walker Little, which Walker Little
didn't play very well.
So he's coming off a very good game where both Pete and I thought he was the best offensive lineman on the field. I still thought he ran block pretty well, Pete.
Yeah, he was good in the run game.
I thought
pass protection wasn't very good.
He had a few pass protections where he got beat really quick and created pressure and hits on Trevor. So
guy came underneath him a couple.
He got beat on the inside move a couple times. He got beat over the top one time. So to say
and Doug was asked about it today. I saw it. He said they're evaluating it, right?
Yes, he would not put the starter out there for this week at left tackle yet. He did not put anybody's name. They're going to see how the week goes.
Yeah. So
question for you: if you traded Cam Robinson, who would your third tackle be?
Gosh, I need the roster.
The draft pick?
No.
Foster?
No, it's give me
Van
Lanen. Thank
Cole
you.
Van
7.
Lanen.
Oh, yeah.
Cole Van Lanen, who had a very good preseason. He'd be your swing.
Yeah.
So
here's a question: Is
well,
Cam?
because here's the thing. I don't think this is Cam's last year in his contract too.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
I don't think he's coming back, regardless.
Of course not.
So
why not get something for
That's
him?
my point. So, if the fact the season hasn't gone the way you wanted it to, and whatever happened Sunday happened. If someone calls and says, we'll give you a mid-round pick, I think you do it.
Because what's he going to cost the
the
rest
other
of the
theory
year?
that you,
$10 million.
if you lose them, you could get compensatory pick for him too.
Yeah, I think it has to be a third rounder or higher, because you're going to get a third round compensatory pick from it.
If you don't sign a bunch of guys.
Huh?
If you don't sign a bunch of guys, you know how that works.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, and Pete, maybe you know better than I do, but that whole compensatory pick
formula
is a little bit of advanced algebra or calculus that you got to figure out.
And nobody knows it, really.
So if you could get a 4 for Cam Robinson, would you do it?
I would want to understand the math of because what is it? What do I have to do to get a third in the offseason for losing him? And based on that, then I want a 3 or 4 for him. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're the Chiefs and your left tackle has been a grade A disaster, much like it was a year ago, and the reason you can't throw the ball down the field consistently is because he can't stand in there and take the time to do it, don't you make a move to go fix that? If I'm the Chiefs, I'm doing that.
Is Cam fixing that, though?
Yeah, Cam, yes.
Cam's much better than what
much
they're
better.
Yeah.
Cam's a good pass blocker. I'm not saying he's, all pro or a Pro Bowl, but he's a good pass blocker. Yeah, he improves that offensive line the moment he gets there, without a doubt.
Fair.
Without a doubt.
And he'd cost his base salary is 16.2. So
Yeah,
whatever the math is left on that.
You got to pay half of it.
But Pete, what's the cap situation for the Chiefs? Can they make it work?
Well, all they have to do is fit in the rest of his season.
I'm just saying, they fit the $8 million in the cap.
They made a deal for Uche today, Josh Uche. They can make it work.
So I think that's one. Who else would be a trade possibility on this roster?
I think Kirk would have been if he had been healthy.
Well, that's off the table because he's out for the year.
Out. Collarbone.
Right.
What about the way Bigsby's been playing? Is Etienne a candidate for
I'd listen.
Yeah.
I'd listen. The problem is, what teams need running backs? Okay, I'll give you one. Dallas Cowboys. But are they in a position to go make a move for that?
Are they buyers where they sit right now at 3 and 4?
Right. No. So who's a buyer that needs a running back?
And the one thing that whoever trades for Etienne, because we took his 5th year, so that 5th year number is what, $8 or $9 million next year?
Yeah.
For him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Got to think about that. How about like defensive backs, safeties, Cisco, any of those guys? last year guys. He's the last year of his deal.
Yeah, but who? What are you going to trade? He might be sitting on the bench in a couple weeks. You going to trade for him?
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I look.
I don't know if there's a market.
for
I don't
that?
know if there's a market.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, listen. This is what the person asked this question to is Trent. I mean, Trent is. Yeah. This is what Trent and his team do all day, every day. So, Pete probably knows, kind of what's out there, who needs what at a high level. But this is why the GM got Trent and the rest of the personnel staff, they understand what teams need, where their gaps are, what we have. And if they're going to trade, then you try to match the trade. So, outside the obvious one being Cam, because we have a left tackle who I think is probably a better run blocker than Cam, not as good a pass blocker. Who knows if he's going to be back? Both are free agents after this year.
Correct.
Not sure what the plan at tackle is next year at this point. I'm sure no one was thinking about that because no one planned on being 2-6 either. So I think this is where you got to evaluate and do the math of the compensatory pick and what's available. And this is what, Trent, I guarantee you, is fully informed and understands what teams need and don't need and kind of what we can get. So we'll see what he does.
If they don't make a move for anybody, everybody's still here.
Yeah.
Who should start at left tackle the rest of the year?
Depends how you want to play football. If you want to be a run first, play action pass team, then I think you probably go with Walker Little. If you're going to drop back more and play in a situation like that, then you go with Cam. Now, the thing about Cam, it's not that Cam can't run block. I just think Walker's a better finisher and gets to the next level.
Cam gets lazy in his run block.
Well, that's my point. So maybe Cam, maybe this is like, hey, Cam, we're going to make you the starter because you're the better pass blocker, but to stay the starter, we need to see this type of finish in the run game. Because I think he's more than capable. I think he's more than capable of that. And if I'm Cam's, like, okay, because I know that
I'm in my money year.
This is a big money year.
Give me the next 9 games, 10 games to go show people what I could do as a complete left tackle.
That's right.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy for him. And that's why if I'm Cam, I'm telling him I want to be traded. I want out. I want to go to Kansas City. I want to go to Minnesota. I want to go somewhere.
Yeah, my guess it's going to be that's the one guy that I think could get very interesting around the trade deadline because you have Walker Little, and the fact that come cleared the play, they made a decision not to go with Cam.
Big.
And I guarantee you, he's probably not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Is my guess, knowing players.
Mm-hmm.
I've not talked to Cam, so
I wouldn't be happy if I were him.
This
either.
is me projecting.
He came in the open locker room today with like a minute to go, so we didn't get a chance to talk to him.
So he probably
today.
doesn't want to talk to the media. He probably doesn't talk to anybody except for his agent, is my guess. And because that's how these things go. It's not just here; it's everywhere. And so it's up to Trent and Doug to get together and what do you want to do at left tackle and how do we want to finish the season at left tackle? And if it's going to be Walker Little, then you should trade him.
But you made a good point, though, Tony, about that. Okay, let's just say they finish with Walker Little. He might not be here next year.
Yeah.
No.
It ain't like they're overflowing in cap room and their cap's not great. I mean,
and you got to put a value like now if I'm
they got to find a left. They got to find. Okay, let's just play this forward. He might not be there. Sheriff, you have no idea how long he's going to play. He could walk away at any second. The guy seems to get hurt and break down. You know what I mean? He's done a pretty solid job this year. I'm going to give him his credit because he's been better than I thought he would be. The center's not a kid anymore. I mean, you got age creeping up on that thing. You got uncertainty in contracts on a group that's the most, like we always say, it's the most important position on the team other than quarterback.
Which goes back to why, like, and again, I don't study. I don't
heard this a lot.
I know
what's coming.
I don't study the draft. I'm not saying I'm an expert because it's not my job to do it. But I've watched enough football and played enough football to know that if you don't have an offensive line, you don't have anything. And the offensive line, and I'm a firm believer in this, sets the tone for what type of team you are. The toughness of that group sets the standard of the toughness across the board. That's just how football works. Every team I've ever been on. And so Pete's right. You have a lot of questions because of the contract situation and the age of this offensive line. And the one thing I'll say about Brandon Sheriff, because I thought that was a position that they would look at just because of his age and some of the injuries, and like he's a warrior. And as you get older and injuries pile up, it's tough. But I'll give that guy his due. At 2-5, getting your knee rolled up on, feeling like, you know what, down 10, when nobody would have questioned you if you said, you know what, my knee's not right. And that dude, was hell-bent. Even right away. Mm-hmm. Even when they put Cooper Hodges to finish the half, if I'm not mistaken. Brandon Sheriff was helmet on next to Phil Rauscher, and I know how that conversation is, put me in. And I loved it, and I said it on the air. I said, I give that dude so much credit, so much respect for him. I can question missed blocks and pad level and every technique and everything else like that. That's every guy gets critiqued. Like I did, everyone does. But the one thing I will never question about Brandon Sheriff is his toughness and his want to. That's the type of guys that you want. And that's why even when Pete and I debate, was that the right decision at right tackle and everything else, so on and so forth. At right guard. I can see why they said, listen, we want that dude in the room because he brings a mental and physical toughness that we need. And it's hard to get rid of those guys because they bring something that someone maybe younger, stronger, more explosive just does not have. And it'll be interesting to see what they do across the line as we kind of go into the second half of the season.
If they go into the draft next year, it should be big, big, big on either side of the ball.
We're not talking draft. We're not talking draft
big,
tonight.
big. Well, we're talking about unloading guys so we can talk about replenishing. Big, big, big. There's only so many big people on the planet who can play this game.
Who told you that, Pete?
You always say it, but I've said it before. You were in the womb when I used to say it.
That's because you're the senior writer for CBS Sports. That was Keeping It Real, presented by Nobody. We'll come back with Fanatics fan questions. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top-quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Obviously disappointed and turned the ball over there, backed up, and giving them an easy touchdown pretty much. Definitely affected the game, so that's disappointing. I thought, I honestly thought I was going to break the tackle and scramble, so I kind of moved it to the other hand to get out of so I could use my offhand to try to get him off me, and he made a good play and made the tackle, and somehow, I don't know what hit the ball, something hit the ball, and just got to take care of it, in that situation. Even if I, throw it away or check it down and we don't get it and we punt, that's still better and puts our defense in a position where they can get a stop and prevent them from scoring. So I didn't help them out there.
Quarterback Trevor Lawrence, of course, after the game discussing his fumble deep in their own end, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings, J.P. Shadrick with Pro Football Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Boselli and CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco. Time now for the Fanatics fan questions. Jaguars fans, gear up at Fanatics.com with all the latest Jag styles. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. We put the cat signal out on X. Here's the best we've come up with today. At Jacob Reinhart, too. Is Josh Hines-Allen's lack of production due to effort, or is he slower due to bulking up over the offseason?
I don't see any effort issues from Josh Hines-Allen at all. And here's the thing, Pete. I was, again, watching this week. He's getting pressure, but it's like he's just like a half step late. Now, when I say late, he's right there, and he's pushing the tackle into the lap of the quarterback. He's just about to hit him. The ball gets thrown. Like, he's just not. Like, so is that a combination? Is it coverage and not forcing the quarterback to hold the ball at times? Is it him? He's definitely bigger. Mm-hmm. He's definitely bulked up.
He said that. I mean, both of those guys said that.
Him and Trayvon. And I don't know if that came from the coaching staff or who told them to do that. I mean, my guess is it came from the coaching staff that they both did it. Unless
he's got 30, according to I saw something here. He's got 32 pressures on the season.
And only 2.5 sacks. Or did he get a half sack?
He got a half sack yesterday.
So he has 3 sacks now, and Trayvon has 6.5.
Is that what he's credited for, 32? Because that's, when you look at that, that's not that bad, actually.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I watch the tape, like, I think both him and Trayvon do a good job against the run. They're
really good football. They're really good football players, both of them. And they're just not dynamic as pass rushers.
And they're both power rushers.
Right.
It looks like to me Josh has gone to more power this year, and maybe that's because of the size. I'm going to ask him that, actually, next time I see him.
How much bigger is he? Because I remember I talked to him in the training camp. He said he was like about 10, 12 pounds bigger, maybe?
I think he's 15. Something. I think he was like 285.
Yeah.
Where I think last year he was 270, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I think that's about right.
Sounds right.
Here's the problem. Both of them are really good ends. They're both kind of power ends.
Yeah.
So they're the same kind of guy. But here's the other thing. If you had a twitchy third down edge rusher, then you could slide one of them inside to rush on third down and put that twitchy edge rusher on the outside. They don't have that.
Nope.
I think, Pete, I agree with you. And so I think he's playing good football. He's getting pressures. The sacks are not coming. Hopefully they'll start stacking up here. Usually you see guys who get a lot of pressures. Sooner or later the sacks come. But it's not. I do not see an effort issue.
No, not at all.
With Josh
By the way,
Allen.
Tony, ideal scenario, 3rd and long. One of them is playing end. Armstead's playing inside. Walker's playing inside, or Allen, whichever one. And then you have the twitchy edge rusher comes in on 3rd down or whatever. That's your ideal scenario right there.
Well, you got to find that guy, Pete. He's not on the roster.
All right, next question. Let's get through a few of these. Is Brian Thomas Jr. being underutilized? There probably isn't a corner in the league that can catch him, so why aren't we taking more shots downfield?
Good question.
I mean, I think it's okay, but you also have to kind of take what the defense is getting you. I mean, you can take away a speedster by putting people over the top. I'm not saying it's not a fair question. I would love to see 2 or 3 shots a game.
Back him off.
To Brian Thomas Jr. Now, here's what we don't know. Because, Pete, you watch the tape as well. It takes 2 to tango, or it takes 3 to tango in this case. It takes the coach calling it. Okay. It takes Brian Thomas Jr. running the right route. And then it takes the quarterback actually throwing it when the shot's called. And so sometimes shots could be called, and Trevor doesn't like the look and takes the underneath route. And that's fine. I would like to see more shots downfield because I think it's going to work out better for us than the other team more times than not. But at the same time, you got to be careful, start trying to force things to guys.
But run them. You don't need to force it to them, but you run them.
I think that's right, Pete. I agree with you. Yeah. That's a good way to say it.
Next question. At PW3, why does Trevor Lawrence have to play perfect for the Jags to win close games?
I disagree with that question. Perfect? Like, if you want to be, just call it what it is. Trevor Lawrence turnovers led to 14 points to the opponent. Theoretically, you take those 2 plays out, you win the football game. So I don't think he has to play perfect.
Well,
I think
you also don't know if he's going to rally in the 4th quarter either. But you're right. You can't turn the ball over. Point blank range. You can't turn it over.
It's not that he has to play perfect. He just can't play. You can't make big mistakes like that. And now it's not all on him. I mean, those plays are
sack fumble. The sack fumble was on him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on him.
Yeah.
But everyone needs to do their job.
When he mentioned in that clip that you played the check down, he had him. Yep. He just didn't get first down. So he held off on it to try and get to the next level. And then what happened on the next level behind that was 2 guys were standing together. So there were 2 defenders right there. He couldn't throw it. But he's got to take that check down and punt, like he said.
Yeah, so I think sometimes a punt's a good play. And players, you forget that. You try to force things. And usually when you force things, mistakes happen.
One last question at JFix88. Where do the Jaguars go from here?
They go to Philly. It's on Saturday, and they play there Sunday, and then we'll come home afterwards. I mean, that's where they go. I mean, and now I know what the question is referring to is like, how do they fix this? There's no magical fix. The guys are the guys you have. You're not going to go find a bunch of guys sitting on the street. You're not going to do a bunch of trade. You're not going to be a buyer at the trade deadline, in my opinion. And so it's the guys you have executing better. It's the coaches preparing them better. It's the trainers taping ankles better. It's everyone just doing their job better and executing. And I think what Doug said it well on an earlier clip is like, everyone just do your job. If everyone does their job, good things will typically happen.
Yeah, but sometimes there's a lack of talent too, and sometimes
I'm not saying
there's nothing. You can't scheme around it. You can't.
Sure.
You just can't. It's just a lack of talent sometimes.
No, but even if there's a lack of talent, Pete, you would agree the only thing you can do is do your job.
Right. Do your job. Work as hard as you possibly can.
And let the chips fall where they might. Huh?
If they inserted me into the lineup, I'm going to work as hard as I can and do my job, and it ain't going to work.
But the question is, where do they go from here now? There's no, like Philadelphia, but beyond that, there's no one you're going to add.
No, hell no.
That's going to change it. So you have to take the guys you have on this roster and how the roster was built, because the building of the roster is done in the offseason, obviously. Not that you can't trade during the season and get a piece here or there if you're in that position, which I don't think we are. And then once that's done, and it's everyone do their job to the best of their ability, and let's see what happens. Like, first things first. don't beat yourself. So if we would just start by not beating ourselves, pre-snap penalties, silly turnovers, silly mistakes, missed assignments, blown coverages, blown blocking assignments, whatever you want to call it, just mental errors. So start there. If you don't beat yourself, now you're starting at ground zero. Now just do your job. And more times than not in this league, if you don't beat yourself, you're going to have a chance in the fourth quarter to win.
All right, there you have it. Fanatics fan questions are in. We're back with a look around the National Football League in week number 8. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at baptistmdanderson.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings from the Hyundai Studios. J.P. Shadrick with Tony Boselli. Pete Prisco's here, too. He's down in South Florida. Tony, you all right, Tony?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I mean, I don't know. We need to see if your switch is turned on.
No, I'm rocking and rolling today. Excited to be here. I wish we were 6-2, not 2-6, but that's the cards we've been dealt. And
by the way, one quick thing. I looked at the game book. Chad Moomin didn't get one defensive snap yesterday.
Yep. Weird.
Not one.
What do you think the best combination? Pete, let's just cut to the chase. What do you think what's the best linebacker combination? Because they played a lot. First of all, they played almost nickel. They played a lot of nickel.
Miller and Aluakon.
And then who's the Sam?
Lloyd.
Yeah, you and I think Miller and Luke on the inside, Mike Wilf, whatever combination you want to do. And then I think Devin Lloyd is a natural Sam. Like, I think he's a guy you can play under with. He can stack the linebacker. He's got length. He's got size.
He's pretty good in the run game.
And he's pretty good in the run game. I mean, I think that is your best combination. And every snap I would have Ventrell Miller and Lucan out there, and then in base personnel, I'm bringing Devin Lloyd playing Sam. That's how
and then the DBs for me would be
Monteric Brown,
Monteric Brown, and Campbell, who's by the way has played well. He played well yesterday.
He played well yesterday. Campbell, Monteric Brown with
Jones.
Jerry and Jones is your nickel.
Is your nickel. Savage and
Cisco.
Whoever comes, well, Winger when he comes back, or somebody when he comes back.
So you would sit Cisco down.
Yeah, what happened to Gibson? Did he not still get cleared?
He has not been cleared.
I thought it was a 6-game suspension. What happened?
I don't know.
I mean, there must be something else cooking. But if somebody's healthy, you might want to take a change there too. I mean, Cisco hasn't been good. There's been moments where he's made some plays, but I think for the most part, he's been a disappointment as well. I mean, think about that. That means that if you made that move, say Winger comes back and he takes over, if you make that move, your starting safeties to open the season will be sitting.
In week 9.
That's pretty amazing.
If that happens this week. For 11 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory, and go Jags. Let's go around the National Football League quickly. We've got about 4.5 minutes to go here. Eagles over the Bengals. They've won 3 straight now, 37-17. Jameis Winston leads the Browns to a win over the Ravens.
And they scored points.
What in the world? 29-24?
I wonder if
the Ravens have defensive issues, by the way.
I wonder if Deshaun Watson was the issue, Pete.
Oh, he was clearly the issue, but the Ravens also have given up a lot of big plays and a lot of points this year.
Lions-Titans were tied 14-14. Lions won it 52-14. They're good.
Well, they're good, but I mean, the times
at 25 yards or less. Think about that.
Yeah, and they had great field position, starting field position, punt return for a touchdown. They had another big punt return. They had multiple turnovers. So it was one of those games that the Titans are the inferior team, but they also gifted the Lions a bunch of points.
Tua can't get the Dolphins over the top. 28-27 loss to the Cardinals. Patriots knocked off the Jets, who are continuing to reel. The Falcons over the Bucks, 31-26. Chargers beat the Saints, 26-8. What happened to New Orleans all of a sudden?
Well, you know, it's
injuries.
funny.
I mean, they've been decimated by injuries. They haven't had their quarterback. They've had so many guys go down. The receiver went down. Shaheed went down. Yeah. Olave's back, but he went down. The line's a mess. They have so many injuries.
But I'll give Pete credit, because I remember us talking about at the beginning of the year, and Pete said the Saints are old, and I don't think they're very good. And then they went 2-0, and I was giving them a hard time. Like, Pete, you don't know what you're talking about. And then they have not won a game since, so 2-6.
Bills 31-10 over the Seahawks. The Broncos beat the Panthers. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 27-20. They're still undefeated. And then the Hail Mary. The Commanders over the Bears. Oh, my God.
That was crazy.
What a play.
The
Bears defensive back taunting the stands, and then he tips the ball to the guy.
Well, not just that, though. The play before, they played it like a Hail Mary and let him get 15 more yards to be able to throw a Hail Mary, which was stupid.
Yep.
And then they had 3 timeouts and didn't call timeout to get big, tall guys. You know how sometimes you put a tall receiver, like one of your receivers back there? They didn't do that either. And then the defensive back they should have had somebody. You always have somebody in the back. And
boxing
in the front.
out, yeah. And I think what I read is his job was to box out.
Yeah, and he was taunting the fans.
He was taunting the fans. But I'll even go back further. The fact that the Bears called a play, a fullback dive to the center, I'm like, what? You have a rookie quarterback, and you're going to hand off on a dive play to a guy who does not handle the ball? That seems like a bad idea.
Monday Night Football. The Giants at 2-5 bench quarterback Daniel Jones last week. They've scored 10 points over the last 2 games. They'll face the 5-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. They changed quarterbacks last week. Russell Wilson is in. Who you got at the Confluence? And bonus points if either can name the 3 rivers.
I know them if they were – one's the Ohio.
Correct.
The Allegheny's the other one.
The Allegheny and the Susquehanna.
No.
Or Monongahela.
Monongahela. Correct.
Yeah. So I knew 2 of the 3.
You're 0 for 2. Who's winning the game?
No, we got them. Monongahela.
Allegheny.
Ohio and the Allegheny.
Yeah.
But you said Susquehanna. That's incorrect. Who's winning the game?
So here's one thing. Last week, JP, you weren't here. Pete, there was 2 Monday night games. Pete and I got both of them wrong.
I'm going with the Steelers. Daniel Jones is 1-14 in prime time.
Steelers.
Ooh, all right. There you have it. The picks are in. The show is done. Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. I'm J.P. Shadrick. Thanks to our entire crew. David Cho, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. For everyone, thank you for listening. It's Jaguars Happy Hour.